in Arizona and other states, the Republicans in the legislature don't need any Democratic votes at all to pass these restrictions on voting. Yet in Washington, for the Democrats in the Senate to pass their bill protecting voting in America, it requires 60 votes now under current Senate rules, which means it requires at least 10 Republicans to join this initiative to protect the vote in the United States. What would you say to Senator Joe Manchin about the fairness of that these laws can be passed without any Democratic votes in the state legislatures, but in Washington, they need these 10 Republican votes under the current rule?
Well, I would say to him and any other senator that's blocking the getting rid of the filibuster right now, that we are under assault like we have never seen before, and democracy itself is at stake. We need them to rise to this moment and do everything they can, use every tool in the arsenal to make sure that we're protecting voting rights in states across the country. And if we can't protect it in the states, we need to protect it at the federal level, and the filibuster is blocking that.
Secretary Castro, what happens next in Texas?
Well, I'm very proud of those Texas House Democrats. They had a lot of fight in them, and they used every tool and were able to stave off the passage of SB 7. We know that it's going to be back in a special session. So what happens now is that everybody on the inside, those elected officials, and on the outside, the advocates and everyday Texans are pushing and pushing and pushing. And we're also going to keep pushing Washington, D.C., Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema and others to step up and to pass the For the People Act and the Voting Rights Act. This is critical. We need to get that done. Everybody's going to do their part out here in the state, including in Texas, but we need the help of Washington, D.C.
Secretary Hobbs, the elements of these bills that actually concern me the most is what happens after the votes are cast. Georgia has changed that process after the votes are cast and reduced, if not eliminated, the Secretary of State's authority over dealing with the count and managing the challenges. Your authority has been reduced as Secretary of State of Arizona in what happens to the votes after they are cast, if there's a court challenge. In Texas, they are also changing what is possible to the votes after they are cast in terms of lawsuits brought and trial and the standards of proof for trials, that sort of thing. What do you see in this pattern of Republican legislators trying to reach in and change the processes for how votes are handled after they are cast?
This is incredibly alarming and should be incredibly alarming to everyone who's paying attention right now. In fact, even people who aren't paying attention. They are laying the groundwork to steal the next election, not through means that we can't see, but right out in front of us. They are laying the groundwork to do that now, and we have to do everything we can to stop it.
And Secretary Castro, in Texas, what they're saying is you can overturn an election by going to court, alleging voter fraud, but you will not have to prove that the allegation you're making involves enough votes to actually change the outcome of the election. But still, in a Texas court, Texas Republicans want to be able to overturn an election.
I mean, Lawrence, this is absolutely crazy. As the world turned upside down. This is providing the opening for the type of fraud that they are fraudulently asserting right now. They're creating, as Secretary Hobbs says, the ability to rig an election, steal an election, create fraud in an election. This is the same kind of projection that we saw 4 years of Donald Trump, except this time it actually can have devastating consequences to our democracy. And that's why this moment is so urgent. And, you know, we say in strong enough terms how important it is for Senator Sinema to put our democracy ahead of their concerns for re-election and do the right thing at this moment.